Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
And today we're looking at something pretty radical. It's this idea of disappearing to level up your life. Kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yeah, it really goes against a lot of the advice that's out there, like put yourself out there and network.
Yeah, make connections.
Get feedback, build your brand.
Right, exactly. So disappearing strategically,
Hmm.
how does that even work?
Disappearing effectively.
Right.
Using that time for transformation and then
Mhm.
the big decision of whether or not to reappear at all.
So let's start with the first part.
Okay.
Disappearing objectively.
Right. So this is about taking control,
Okay.
not just of your information, like what you share and who you share it with,
Right.
but also your energy. You're basically minimizing
Okay.
outside opinions.
You know, that's so true. It's like you get so excited about something.
Yeah,
And then somebody kind of rains on your parade.
totally.
And then you're like, wait.
You start second guessing yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And the source actually cites a bunch of studies that show how
Oh, wow.
people are almost hardwired to kind of critique or downplay what they see in others. It's like this weird,
Defense mechanism.
yeah, like a defense mechanism or something.
Interesting.
So by controlling what you reveal,
Okay.
you're protecting your goals from that kind of energy drain.
So it's not about being secretive just to be secretive.
Right.
It's like you're guarding your own information, especially when you're trying to grow.
Exactly. And the source uses this phrase, intentional invisibility.
I like that.
Yeah, it's about really choosing carefully who you let into your inner circle and what you expose yourself to.
So minimizing distractions.
Exactly. Minimizing distractions and protecting your focus. Because
Okay.
here's the thing. Even sharing your plans can diminish your chances of success.
Really?
Yeah, there's this idea that each time you talk about it,
Uh-huh.
a little bit of that energy dissipates.
Like letting air out of a tire or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about building this internal pressure, this concentrated energy that propels you forward.
Interesting.
And that's what the second step is all about, preparing for transformation.
It seems like this disappearing thing is a lot more complex than it sounds on the surface.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The real work happens internally. It's about using this time and energy to take action.
Yeah.
Not just to dream,
Mm.
but to really take intense, focused action.
So like a training montage.
Exactly.
Right,
Like
yeah.
every decision is about maximizing results.
So the source uses this example of someone who wants to get in shape.
Right. They say you need to approach it with the same level of dedication as an Olympic athlete.
Wow.
Like everything you do, what you eat, how you train, even where you live,
Mm-hmm.
it's all tailored towards achieving that goal.
That sounds intense.
It is.
Right.
They mention things like starting a business or writing a book.
Okay, so the principle applies to any goal that requires.
Yeah, any goal that requires significant change.
Got it.
And they say having specific written goals is crucial because when you're operating at this level of intensity,
Yeah.
it's easy to get sidetracked
Totally.
or lose sight of the bigger picture.
So it's like a roadmap for uncharted territory.
Yeah,
They talk about reprogramming your mindset.
right.
What does that even mean?
So it's about more than just positive thinking. Draws on things like cognitive behavioral therapy,
Uh-huh.
even some Eastern philosophies,
Interesting.
to outline a process of identifying and challenging your limiting beliefs.
So you're replacing those beliefs.
Yeah, with empowering ones that support your goal.
Okay, so you're literally rewiring your brain. But how do you actually do that?
So they give a few specific techniques.
Okay.
One is cognitive reframing,
Yeah.
where you take a negative thought and consciously rephrase it in a more positive and productive light.
So like turning that frown upside down.
Yeah, kind of like
Got
that.
it.
Another is affirmations,
Okay.
where you repeat positive statements about yourself
Uh-huh.
until they become ingrained in your subconscious.
So fake it till you make it.
In a way, yeah.
And then they even suggest visualization techniques
Right.
where you imagine yourself achieving your goals.
Yeah, feeling the emotions, experiencing the success.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty comprehensive mental makeover.
It is.
But I imagine this process isn't always sunshine and roses.
Emphasize there will be challenges, moments of doubt, even setbacks.
They actually use the phrase toughen up, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
When you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. You're challenging old patterns, forging a new path.
Right.
And they argue that those challenges are actually crucial to the transformation.
So it's like a mental and emotional workout
Yeah,
where the resistance you encounter makes you stronger.
exactly.
Okay, so what happens when you push through those challenges? Do you stay disappeared forever?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's something we'll delve into in the final part of our deep dive. But here's where things get really interesting.
All right, I'm listening.
That the very act of disappearing,
Uh-huh.
of dedicating yourself so fully to your own growth,
Yeah.
can actually diminish the need to reappear at all.
Wait, so you're saying after all this work,
Yeah,
you might reach a point where you don't even care about
right.
sharing your achievements with the world.
It's a fascinating idea.
It is.
They argue that the journey of self-discovery can be so fulfilling that external validation just becomes less important.
So you might emerge from this disappearance
Yeah.
like a completely different person
Right.
with different values,
Uh-huh.
different goals.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't even fit into your old life anymore.
That's precisely the point they're making.
Oh,
They
wow.
suggest that you might find your old life with all its distractions
Yeah.
and superficiality less appealing.
Less appealing.
Like you created something richer
Wow.
within those shadows you retreated to.
Okay, I am hooked. Let's dive into that whole reappearing thing, or not the last part of our deep dive. Okay,
Yeah.
we talked about how to disappear and the transformation that happens during that time, but
Yeah.
what about reappearing?
Well, this is where Souls gets really interesting.
Okay.
They don't really give a clear roadmap
Mm.
for reentry.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like they're saying you might not even want to come back to the spotlight.
That is kind of mind-blowing.
It is because
You know, we're so conditioned to strive for that recognition.
yeah.
You know, we want to be seen, we want to be acknowledged.
Exactly. It's how we measure our success.
Right.
But this source is suggesting that you might get to a point
Yeah.
where that external validation just doesn't matter as much.
Because the journey itself is
Yeah.
so fulfilling.
Exactly. They're saying that the journey of self-discovery and growth
Mm-hmm.
can be so rewarding that you find genuine contentment
Okay.
within yourself.
And they even hint that you might find your old life,
Right.
with all its distractions and superficiality,
Yeah.
less appealing.
Much less appealing.
Okay, but let's be real.
Sure.
Most of us aren't hermits living in caves.
Right.
We have relationships. We have responsibilities, people who
Uh-huh.
care about us.
Yeah.
What about them? How do you navigate those relationships
Yeah, that's a great question.
after this disappearance?
And it's one that the source honestly doesn't go into too much depth about.
Mm,
They do emphasize the importance of a supportive partner,
okay.
someone who understands and respects your need
Yeah.
for this period of growth.
But as for like the wider circle of friends and family,
Yeah, it's a little bit more ambiguous.
I wonder if that's intentional.
Maybe.
Like maybe the transformation changes the dynamic so much that
Right.
you can't even predict.
You can't predict how it's going to unfold.
So like shedding an old skin.
Yeah,
And not everybody fits into the new one.
exactly.
But wouldn't that be hard,
It could be.
losing those connections?
It definitely could be. The people who really value you
Yeah.
will understand and respect your journey.
Even if they don't get it.
Yeah, even if it takes you on a path that they don't fully comprehend.
And you don't have to tell everybody everything.
Right.
You can be selective about
But
who you
it's-
let back in.
You're more discerning with your energy and your time.
So it's not about cutting people off.
Yeah.
It's about being more intentional
Right.
with who you let in.
And that brings us back to that main point that true fulfillment comes from within.
Not from seeking approval from others.
Exactly. It's about self-worth and contentment
Yeah.
that isn't dependent on external circumstances.
So however you choose to reappear,
Right.
it's really a reflection
Yeah.
of that inner transformation.
Exactly. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's about staying true to who you've become.
And making choices that
Yeah.
align with your values and your vision.
It-
Wow. This has been quite a deep dive.
It has.
So what's the one key takeaway?
I think the most important thing is
Yeah.
don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom. You know, this idea of disappearing might seem radical,
It does.
but it shows how powerful intentional focus and self-reliance can be.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that sometimes to really grow and discover our potential,
Uh-huh.
we need to step away from the noise.
The distractions.
Yeah, all the distraction.
And create that space for our own inner voice.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe the journey is the destination.
Maybe it is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.